to Out of the Rough. I'm Fred Arnold, and I'm joined by Andrea Nelson de la Certa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Andrea was Advertiser of the Year by your alma mater, Pepperdine University. And now you help run this company, the advertising agency, right?
Advertising and marketing, strategic planning, yes. All of that goes with advertising and marketing, pricing, strategies. What I find is that many companies skip over the strategy piece and go straight to implementing. You know, maybe there are local businesses who believe that certain print publications in town or broadcast, maybe they've been given an opportunity or a great savings on advertising, and so they just move on it without doing the first step. The first step really being the marketing plan, the strategic plan. Usually we look at a long-term 3-year plan, and then we can back it out with a 12-year plan as well, which should be reviewed by every business every year.
So the services you provide are also looking at that plan, helping someone develop a plan, but also looking at social media.
Social media is huge. It's a big piece. When I first got my degree in advertising and started my experience, I was on Honda doing their national advertising when I first started in the business. There was really very little interactive advertising at the time. It was really just being developed. So, I mean, as we all know, technology is a huge piece of the way we market our business, and it's changed. It's been changing very dramatically in recent years, but many, many years. I mean, you go back 50 years, and we've been consistently changing the way that we communicate with each other. So that's a very important piece of my business. Keeping up on the latest in social media trends is critical to making sure that my clients have a competitive edge.
And what is great today, what is popular today, you know, a lot of times Facebook, Twitter, it might not be what's big tomorrow. It's a really
good point. I'm really glad you said that, because that is one thing I find is a place where businesses they might get comfortable with Facebook. Maybe it took them a little while to get a Facebook page, but they have it figured out and they're consistent with it. But what I always tell clients is, don't be afraid to change. Don't be afraid of change, and don't be afraid of what, you know, a new social networking platform that might be, maybe you might be surprised.
Yeah,
it might end up being
comes
more.
up, yeah. And there's so many things. You do media buying, you also do out-of-the-box promotional plans. But I want to go back to one segment, and that is the strategic plan.
Yes.
Somebody's thinking about building a strategic plan. Where do they start? You know, I always say, just go have a cup of coffee, a glass of wine, whatever you like, and just start writing down ideas, but then have a professional like yourself kind of put those ideas together, you know, in a systematic order.
The first step in a strategic plan really is what you said. Grab a glass of wine or grab a cup of coffee is not bad advice. Really, to first start with brainstorming all the possibilities of where we want to be in 12 months. As a business owner, it's a very important position that they're in to really determine what are our goals. Where do we want to be? And then to start the brainstorming there. Okay, well, how do we get there? Let's brainstorm all the possibilities. Bringing a professional in to really understand what the budget then is, and then having the budget conversation, which is very important.
So you have the ideas, you have the budget conversation.
And what I wanted to bring up was that the science behind market research and the science behind consumer behavior really plays an important part in which dollars to put where. You know, we may not think about how our consumer uses Facebook, but after some investigating, they may find out that Facebook is maybe 80% of their customers are on Facebook. Maybe Facebook's the right place to put some money there when it comes to the overall advertising and media mix.
The overall plan. And, you know, I want to go back to the ideas, because I think entrepreneurs, they have a lot of the ideas and enthusiasm, but it's kind of that organizational side of it. So you look at the ideas, you look at the budget, you look at the scientific research, and then you put together, is it like a 4-point plan? Or I've always wondered about these plans. How do you go about that?
Well, we usually if it's an overall marketing plan, we usually break it up by pricing, and we break sales, all of the elements of marketing, not just
pricing
advertising.
Of your product.
Pricing of the product, placement of the product. Where are you selling the product? Are you available online? Are you only available in stores? Is it a service? And if so, how do you determine the price of the service? We also talk about, I also walk them through a section in there on sales and closing. So how do you close the sale? Let's talk about how that process looks in your company. Maybe that's piece that's maybe missing. Maybe training your salespeople on closing that sale is something that we can maybe improve. So the whole, and leaving the communication piece of it, which I think is what most people think of when they think of marketing and advertising, they think of the actual print ad or the actual, newspaper or television commercial, and that is important. But it's just one piece of all of the entire marketing strategy as it's presented in a...
Now, you mentioned something, scientific market research. A lot of experts in your field that are really good at what they do, they don't have to go buy data because they've been studying the data, correct?
Sometimes.
So they'll know your business. My biggest concern when you say that is, am I going to have to spend a lot of money just looking for that information?
It's a really good question. This is one of the reasons I love social media so much. It's because you really can capture information and feedback right from your client base without having to spend really any money. I mean, that's one huge advantage to utilizing social media in a way that's a two-way conversation. And I emphasize two-way because it isn't just putting a blog post and automatically sending it to Twitter and automatically sending it to Facebook. It's also that business owner not being afraid to put their own voice and their own personality and engage with their customer base. Ask questions. Really simple poll questions. You can throw out polls now and you can get an immediate response.
Right.
Now, you used to have to pay thousands of dollars for that, and no, you don't really have to do that anymore. You can if it's in the budget. And I would recommend to clients, I usually recommend doing a market research, a thorough market research, if they can swing it in the budget every 5 years. But it's not necessarily something that they have to do. There are ways around it to make it more affordable.
Yeah, I always believed I'll let the big financial institutions do a lot of the market research, and then I'll see what the data is, and as a small local company, implement it myself.
Yeah, well, and there's secondary research and there's primary research, and both are important to a business owner. When you're studying your industry, and you want to be able to understand not only your industry, but your competitors, right. and then more specifically, how you as a company are going after those consumers. So primary research and secondary research become very important.
Yeah, and that's what someone like an expert like yourself can do. We only got about a minute, but tell me about video marketing. I've been a big fan of video marketing because it adds a personality.
Yes.
Adds a personality to your business.
You've been great at video marketing, Fred. Really.
Thank you.
Yes. Video marketing is, I think, it's a great low-budget way of really increasing your SEO. At this point, Google still does, we know the relationship between Google and YouTube, and as long as they have that relationship and then ownership there, YouTube, those are still going to the top of search engines, so we can't deny that. And as a social media expert, I always say, anyway, buy a flip camera, go to Target, $199, go buy a flip camera, or just any even little regular camera that has a video capability. Super easy anymore. And you can get
throw it up on YouTube, because YouTube, I believe, is owned by Google.
Yes.
So it ends up coming up high in the search engine.
And I have to say, a little quick plug for Google Plus. If you're looking for a new opportunity online, don't forget about Google Plus. There you've got Google and YouTube right there. The video capability on that one page is far above and beyond what most other platforms can offer.
Well, those that want to find out more about Google Plus and advertising and so forth, Andrea, how can they reach you?
They can reach me at andrea.onlinesuccess@gmail.com. Or they can call me at 818-516-9810, and I'd be happy to set up a consultation with them or walk them through the process, answer any questions.
Great.
Certainly.
Love it. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much,
Tell
Fred.
Paul we said hello.
I will.
Ladies and gentlemen, Andrea Nelson de la Certa from the Clover Agency. We're going to jump to a quick break, and we'll be right back.